everyone is interested in hearing the story of how we met, and we're going to tell you that story. So it was back in July of 2008, back when MySpace was popular. And got on his computer one night, and I had a random message from a guy by the name of Jamar Cheney. So at the time, I didn't know that, it obviously would be where it is today. I thought, he was just a guy writing a pretty girl, because that's what guys do. They write pretty girls.
Yeah, she were pretty.
So yeah, and I'm sure I wasn't the only one he was writing back then.
He wasn't.
But, I was, I guess, somewhat interested. That's probably why I wrote back. I don't know, but I didn't think it would, be anything serious. After all, he was in Mississippi, I was in Florida. We were never going to meet. It was never going to be anything. But one day, he asked me for my phone number, and eventually I gave it to him.
She gave it to him right away.
Eventually, I gave him my phone number, and we began to talk on the phone as friends. And I guess it just, it went uphill from there, obviously. Well, he called a lot. But anywho, so it was, I guess, the end of August. By this time, we had been talking, as friends for a month, and he wanted me to watch one of his college football games on TV. And I had never watched a college football game, but I'm like, okay, whatever. I know I'll watch it. And it was actually the first college football game that I ever watched, and somebody got hurt in the third quarter.
No, it was fourth quarter.
Sorry, in the fourth quarter,
He was bad luck, that's what I heard.
I saw somebody go down. I'm like, oh no! And what do you know? It was him. I'm like, great. So the only person I know on the football team just got hurt. So I of course I'm like, God, please let him be okay. And at that point I hadn't prayed in a while, so I guess you were special because I prayed for you. And yeah, so it's a lot of details to the story, but long story short, I was living in Miami at the time, going to school, and something happened where I had to come back home, and it just happened to be the same week. It was a week later. His mom was driving to Mississippi to go visit him, and he wanted me to come because he said he wanted to meet me in person. And I went with his mom to Mississippi.
My mom said she was going the whole way.
You know what? I felt really comfortable because I was really scared. It was here's this guy that, yeah, I'm cool with, but I don't really know. And I don't know his mom at all. I'm going to drive her, 14 hours. So I was a little nervous, but by the time I got down to where I was meeting her at on 95 and saw her, she looked identical to him. So it was a huge sense of relief. And so I was able to sleep the whole time on the way to Mississippi.
I had to call her and ask her how she looked.
Oh yeah, that was the first thing he asked his mom on the phone. How she look? What? I heard his mom say, what you mean how she look? She pretty or whatever. And she said, I'm like, oh wow, how beautiful. But anywho, so we drive 13, 14 hours, however long it took to Mississippi. And I see this guy on crutches, and it was him. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he is cute. Not that I didn't think he was cute from off MySpace, but back then, he wasn't as photogenic as he is now. I like to thank myself for that. And he was a total gentleman that weekend. He didn't try to lay a finger on me. And this was the time, once he got injured, I think that was the time that he really connected with God the most. And he definitely inspired me that weekend. I was at a critical point in my life where, I, like I said, just had come back from Miami, and I really needed God. And to see somebody so young and so on fire, it kind of inspired me to want to be that way. And when I went and seen him, I had blonde hair. What else did I have? Contacts. I was a hot mess. But after that weekend, I was transformed. God really used him. Hood? I was hood when we met. Well, anyways, God really used him that weekend to speak to me, to see somebody so young and so on fire, because I didn't have that back home. All my friends back home were still wanting to do the going out, the partying, and you know, that was my old life. I didn't want that anymore. So that weekend, actually, he inspired me. Like, he ministered to me about music. And that weekend, like, when I got home, I deleted all the crazy hip-hop garbage, all that from off my computer, and I haven't downloaded a song ever since. So obviously, God had some very powerful words to speak to me through him. And
yeah, I have. That was a really turning point in my life. Me and my roommate Cortez, and my roommate Rob. Cortez, who was my best man. We made our little transformation. I won't say little, but big transformation together. And he helped me out a little bit when Shamir got there too, because he noticed that me and her was gonna be sleeping in the same room. So he constantly texted me, said, "Man, don't backslide, don't do nothing.
Thank you, Cortez.
Don't do nothing," and stuff like that. And I was about to ignore his text and say, "Man, I'm about to try something." But I said to myself, I guess, let me see where this goes if I just chill, because, you know, I'm supposed to be, you know, a different person now. So here we now about to get married in a little bit.
And let's say thank you to Cortez for telling him not to try anything, because if he would have gotten this. After that weekend, he was rehabbing, so you know, he wasn't as busy as he would have been, so we
wasn't going to class or nothing like that. Didn't have to practice, so we pretty much talked a lot.
We talked like every day for hours and hours. Like, we used to be up super late talking on the phone. Just anything that he learned in Bible study or the different fellowships that he was going to, he would share with me over the phone. And you know, at that point, we were definitely both interested in each other, and we knew we wanted to be a couple, but we didn't want to make any sudden movements, but we wanted to allow God to be the one to move us. So it was something that we prayed about. And I guess back probably like 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks after the Mississippi trip, Jamar visited Florida. And when he came to Florida, he actually took me to church with him, to his grandmother's church.
Grandma Rose.
Yeah. What was it?
St. Matthew's, I think.
Yeah, so we went to the church, and he actually turned to me in church and told me that I was his girlfriend, and that was October 5th of 2008. And
yeah, she never said yes. I just told her she
yeah,
was my girlfriend.
Told her. So technically, we've never been girlfriend and boyfriend. Here we are about to get ready to tie the knot, and we are proud to be sex-free, going 4.5 years strong. Tonight should be special. Yeah, so we just wanted to share this story with you guys. MySpace was how we met, but God was definitely the one that brought us together, and you know, for a greater purpose and a greater good. And I hope that all of you are inspired by our story. And yeah, that's it.
Yep, keep God first.